Unknown. Hopefully did not do anything in that last test broadcast I did where anybody heard me say a wordy dird. But anyway, here we are. And thank you all for all your well wishes about Sadie. I'll talk about her in a bit. And I hope everybody can get in the chats. And I hope I'm going smooth. And that's what I want to know, if I've got a smooth broadcast. So let's see who's coming in and who's not. So please let me know if I've got a smooth broadcast. And I will repeat that Sadie's doing well, and I'll talk about her in the future. But I've got in my thumbnail that there was a strike on Russian territory and with a drone, and they hit an oil facility. Escalation. I've also got my thumbnail, and we know, symbolism will be what? I'll talk about that too. Something I saw on And We Know that I want to make comment on. I might try to reach LT about. But anyway, the other issue that I got in the thumbnail is Katie Hobbs. How many of y'all heard she got the boot? Have y'all? Let's just ask about that question. Did everybody hear the same thing I heard, that she got a boot? Hi, B-Dog. Hi, Nikki. You didn't hear me cuss, did you, B-Dog? Let me see. I got to say hi to her because I did cuss. Sinsin, Baba, a Google account. Leisha, Mike, said Sinsin, Wanda, Jamie, Georgia, Jersey Joe. Everybody's rolling. Hi, Donna, Joy. Everybody's rolling. Hi, Kirsten. And I hope Aaron comes in. In my last broadcast, I had people give me a good reference and a good bags of coffee. Put it that way. And that was Mary helped out, and Kirsten and Camperman. And I tell you, I can't be any happier. I know Robin's in there. And just before I went live, Aaron paid a visit to buy me a coffee. That's great. That's wonderful. He's the godfather, you know. He's the godfather. He's saying he's godfather now. So anyway, so what did you all hear about the boot for Katie Hobbs? I'm going through the chat so I can try to say hi to everybody. Angel, how are you? Melinda, if I skipped anybody, please forgive me, because they go by and I try to. Hi, Ronald. Jax. Try to go through and catch everybody. Hi, Kim. And then once I start talking, it's hard to read and talk at the same time, folks. So anyway, I'm going to get on with the issue here. But I'm looking to see if anybody. Yeah, Stacey Abrams was in Nigeria for the elections. I got that I should have that in my library, but boy, was that a shock. I was going to put in my title, Africa Assault. Okay, they are going in there hot and heavy with these election programs, and Biden giving billions of dollars, millions of dollars for them supposedly to help them with their elections. Hi, happy days. Hi, Larry. Lori Lightfoot lost the mayoral election tonight in Chicago, Larry says. Well, I'll be darned. I wonder why. She's such an appealing person. Maybe she'll be the next one with a boot. I'll pull that article up. If I don't have my studio, I'll go out into my device and fish it out of there here in a little bit. So we'll talk about it. But did you hear about this drone strike in Russia? And why well, Major escalation, drone attacks deep inside Russia, targeting nation's oil industry. This is Leo Holman. I'm not sure which publication this was off of. This was forwarded to me by one of my secret intel helpers. And this was hot off the presses. Okay. And we're not going to hear a lot about it because this is extremely serious. And you notice in my thumbnail how I whipped that thing together. There's Joe. He's eating his ice cream, and there's the Punisher on the tank, looking down at this blow up. Now we want to know who done it. That was going to be my thumbnail too. Who done it? Larry. Okay. Well, you're putting the words in right, buddy. Don't put them in rough and they get by, right? So yeah. Now let me see what I got in here. This is going to make the Nord Stream pipeline. They said deep in Russian territory. So we're going to see what comes of that. Speaking of Nigeria, I've got that in as the first thing we're going to go over. This was put up a couple of days ago. I see Biden's free money and digital transformation of Nigeria is coming along as planned. And he had brought up that they are giving money to help not only with their process, the election, unprocessed, but for them to convert to digital currency. You know what that means. They're going after the African countries first so they can try to train everybody to get on some kind of, what do they call that, public credit score, or what do they call that, a good behavior score, or something crazy stuff like that. Protesters, opposition parties announce alleged fraud. And don't put it in the chats, please. Young voters organized to protest in front of the headquarters, objecting to slow results. Okay. And that is going to get back to what Chubby was talking about, Ms. Abrams. And oops, I got rid of the wrong one. Sorry about that. And then after that, you had a report that U.S. citizens in South Africa warned to stockpile food and water amid ongoing energy crisis. The South African government has declared a state of disaster. I'm just going through different things that are coming up out of Africa, South Africa, just popping up out of the woodworks. So in response to ongoing power shortages, and that was followed up with an article where the South African president says, South African, this is Jack Posobiec put on Truth. South African president declares the government has no constitutional responsibility to provide electricity. And South African president declares government has no constitutional responsibility if municipalities do not, for one reason or another, supply electricity to their people. Ramaphosa stated, the Constitution doesn't require it. So there you go. They're just letting you know that if you don't want to play ball with them, that you flick that switch and something might not happen, okay, at all, and you got no power. Now let me see this thing about Stacey Abrams. I don't know if I'll have to put it in there double if but yeah, she was down there and she did an interview. Let me see if I have that. If you want to aggravate yourself and watch Miss Abrams, well, I don't see it. She was down there and she used some key words. I will say keywords. Let me see if this is it. Let's see. I'm going to put this one, and this one in. And I can't see them. They're very small until I put them on the screen and expand them. Oh, Brian Kilmeade. I'll get back to him in a minute. He's looking for some DeSantis reporters. Human events. Abrams, Stacey Abrams. I don't know what happened to I had a picture of her, but you guys have seen her enough. Abrams is with the National Democratic Institute on a mission to observe selections and encourage participation, VOTER. That's a report by Zero Hedge, which is a diplomatic initiative. Now, how does she have any authority to conduct any diplomacy with a foreign power without some written permission from the State Department or the Biden administration? I want to know that. Anyway, NDI focuses on the youth vote, something Abrams has also pressed in her home state of Georgia. The youth vote. Oh, is that the ones that you are constantly trying to teach how to be communist? Abrams went on to discuss the youth voters in Nigeria, saying they want to be heard. They believe progress is possible. Now, you're going to hear those Marxist keywords. Progress, okay? That was constantly put on banners before the Bolshevik Revolution, okay? And democracy. Okay, they believe that more is possible. They understand that they are the most assailed by unemployment. Okay, they're assailed by unemployment, and that the challenges they face are real, but that so is the opportunity for change. And that was the Marxist Obama administration's mantra, right? Change and hope. What we've tried to have a conversation about, though, is the caution that not every selection turns out the way you want, but that the responsibility is to show up and to try to shape the future as much as you can. Okay, so she's down there piddling with another country's process, I'll say. Now, so I think she very well may be the next one to get the boot, as they say. And did you hear Marjorie Taylor Greene was assailed? Okay, another Jack Posobiec put that up. I've seen their reports elsewhere, but it's good screenshots that I can get up pretty quick and talk about it. I like to follow Jack. Breaking: Marjorie Taylor Greene says she was attacked in a restaurant. Sound familiar? By an insane woman. They had no respect for the restaurant or the staff or the other people dining, or people like me who simply have different political views. They are self-righteous, insane, and completely out of control. Boy, ain't that an accurate statement. And what does that remind you of? I should have got a picture, but I would have got up too late. It's hard for me to get up early because I'm constantly getting pictures, cropping pictures, trying to put something together. But if I had a picture of Maxine with that big mouth wide open saying, if you see anybody, anywhere, anytime, you tell them they're not welcome. Anytime, anywhere, you tell them to go away. So when you got that kind of garbage coming out, and I'm hoping she'll be having a boot also. So anyway, let me get this taken care of here with this Ron DeSantis. He hadn't said he's running. He hadn't said anything bad about Trump. I think we're watching a little game being played here. How am I coming through, folks? Am I coming through good? I hope so. I haven't seen anybody. I'm trying to. Now that cat's walking around with this big cone around her head. She's walking into cabinets and walls. And but I'm glad she's not crying like she did a little bit earlier. Hi, Linda Marie. How you doing? So I guess I'm coming through good. Everybody says I don't see anybody saying I'm choppy. And I hate it when I come through choppy. Hi, Roy. What's Roy got to say? My voice will break. Yeah. If I'd have put Maxine's picture up there, the one I had of her, big mouth wide open, everybody's eyeballs would have broke. But anyway, yeah, maybe Stacy will end up staying over there. They don't want her. Oh, good. Georgia and Wanda says, I got a 5x5. Yeah, she's going to lay down right now. Everybody, Mike, Camperman, Nikki said 5x5. Good. So, yeah, she's about walking around about half drunk, but she did eat. And, you know, some cats go around and if you're in the kitchen messing around, they want to come and make sure they find every molecule that may have dropped on the ground. She will eat a molecule. And so when I saw her taking her cone and pressing it flat on the floor, because that's the way she's got to eat, she's got a cone around her. Well, you all saw the community posts. If you all haven't, do me a favor and check out my community page, because sometimes I'll put up stuff I don't put in the video, just things you might want to know. And I've gotten, like 50 thumbs up, and I appreciate all the comments. I'll try to respond to them. Anyway, yeah, Kirsten said, oh, what? Help Mountain Man hit the thumbs up. That's right. What's the big deal? You just go down there and touch it, and it turns a different color. And that means, hey, it'll get out to more people. If it gets a lot of activity, thumbs up, even a couple of thumbs down, that will make the rhythm, right? Have it show up on more people's feed. But anyway, back to Brian Kilmeade and Ron DeSantis. Fox's Brian Kilmeade has a search diner to find a single DeSantis supporter, and even she's on the fence. So there she is. She's got a shirt on, DeSantis, and that's okay. I mean, but there's more and more information, and Trump, as usual, pulls no punches. But I tell you what, I personally feel that this is as we say many times, a show, right? Let me get a drink of my coffee. Oh, that's great. I wish I could take a picture of that little girl. She's so sweet. But anyway, I think what it is, you've got so many people in the Republican Party that the never Trumpers, the rhinos, but as far as the citizenry, they are sticking with people like Little Jeb Bush, and anybody but Trump, but they're Republican, they're conservative. They don't know about the shenanigans. And so you're keeping them engaged and not as I've said many times, not making the Republican Party a Trump cult or anything like that. But you also get the opportunity to educate them. And I snitched this from NPC show. And I've told you all about him. God, it's covered up. It's a capital NPC show. Red Flag Ron. And there he shows we all know, we're not going to rehash it on this program, but we all know the dangers of those kinds of laws, where you can get just anybody point a finger at you, and you got to jump through a bunch of hoops to maintain your constitutional rights. And if they can do that, with GUNs, right, then they can do it with other stuff. So let me see here. What is this? Am I talking too loud, folks? I got a tendency to do that, especially when I go through a lot of stress and worry, and then everything turns out okay. Man, I'm ready to launch. Here we go, DJT. So now we have Jeb, Rhino Paul Ryan, and Marxist Georgie Porgy Soriosio wanting Ron DeSantis. Does that tell you anything? Remember, Ron fought hard to very unfairly cut Social Security and Medicare. Also wants to raise the age limit for Social Security to at least 70 years old. You know how many friends I've had, they turned 62 and got maybe 3 checks and corked off? How many you think are going to make it 70? Okay. So anyway, Jeb Bush, hopeful DeSantis, little Jebby, will run for president. Former GOP hopeful president Jeb Bush, in a recent interview, threw his support behind Florida Governor Ron DeSantis, arguing it's time for a generational change in our party. Well, you were right about that because your backside's out of there. And where's Paul Ryan at? I'll pull him up later. I want to get some things. I want to play this. I'm going to play you all a blast from the past. What am I talking about? Those of you who have been with me for a long time, I used to have these intros, right? Okay. Remember these intros, gang? I played at the beginning of the video, and I haven't done it in a long time. So I figure for my new people, I'm going to go ahead and play it. But I used to do this at the beginning of every video. So here's one of them. How many of y'all remember that? Did that music play good? Did that music play good? I hope it did. I'm going to take a break for some fun. We'll talk about some fun things. How'd that play, folks? I hope it played good. And then here's another one I used to open up with. Future Facebook bot. The force that's always awake. And so every now and then I'll play some of my old intros because I put some good memes in there with them, didn't I? So anyway, I was going to put this up at the very beginning, but it got buried in all my pictures. I'm going to put this up so I don't have to deal with that stuff so much. I'll put that, I'm going to try to remember when I do my picture shows, I'll put this up at the beginning while I talk to everybody and thank everybody for their help. But it's a disclaimer, copyright disclaimer. And so anyway, this is what I was talking. Here she is. Here she is. Look isn't that sweet? Katie Hobbs, accused, okay, of receiving Sonora cartel bribes. I heard she got a boot. And like I said, the woman there on the left that is giving a presentation, if she was stepping out of line with these extremely serious allegations, you can take legal action via cease and desist letters, or actually have a judge, I guess, put an injunction or do something to stop somebody. You don't hear nothing out of her or her camp. So, yeah, Katie's got her hands full, and we got everything coming out. Here's the article I was telling you all about last night. It had to be woo. It had to be woo. But there's a new theory jumping around I'll get into about that. clandestines come up with that I also thought about too. You got somebody that's trying to be a troublemaker, right? They develop it, right? Certain people that don't have your good in mind work to develop something like that. Some people are just born and raised to be a psycho, okay, like that, all right? They could have developed it. They could have came up with it, and under false pretenses, sent it to Wuhan. Okay, Wuhan. So to get them in heap big trouble. Oh my gosh, I'm sorry. All right, guys, I'm back. Let me get this back up here. This is the U.S. consulate in Milan. I'll say it real quick. This is an extension of the U.S. embassy. They put this post up, and they're supposed to be under the purview of the administration, but they are doing this in defiance of the Biden administration policy. I don't know if that is still up or not. Sorry about my sound going, my mic not being on. I don't think I missed too much, except I had this picture of Katie Hobbs. I guess you all heard that. I don't know. If I got a dead spot, I got a dead spot. I'm sorry. But anyway, so I put this picture up in another broadcast, and I said, stop Mountain Man. You can't stop Mountain Man, Bubba. You can't. It's impossible. Well, I better not say that because someone might stop me. Anyway, I said, I got my mic on. Who's the last one that said no sound? Wait a minute. Where'd my chats go? Outlandish Patriot. I got my mic on. Yeah. Anyway, here's a picture, and see who's the first one to get it in the chats. If you see something, and it's going to be kind of hard. Hi, Larry. Kind of hard to spot something, but there's something in this picture that is very big signal. Okay. Thank you, Kim. All good. Ha ha. Outlandish got it. Outlandish got it. I was going to go look through my pictures while y'all were cogitating over this photo. Ha ha ha. The hat went to 47, folks. There it is. Let's zoom in on it. Right there. Right there. Right in DJT's hand is the hat. So is that faking them out? Is that faking them out? Or is it really telling us that we're going to wait till fall 7? But anyway, that's when he was down there at round on both ends and high in the middle, Ohio. So anyway, let's see. I was like butter. I was on a roll. I was watching LT, right? I'm going to try to leave him a message about this. He was talking about this cartoon that was playing during the Super Bowl. Now, I want us to let's all take some time here and look at this picture. He had done his own little analysis of it. And he said it showed this woman crying, and also he said a bottle of poison in her hand that was slowly moving across the screen, and it looked like it got underneath a cloud. And I took a freeze frame of this, and he said it looked like a Palestinian woman. And he was reading in that he felt that cloud above the bottle she has in her hand was part of the distraction that was coming, which was what happened in Ohio, right? Now you see her, and you see the shock waves. It's not a cloud; it's the boom of. It looks like a volcano. It has a mountain behind it, and so yeah, it could be a preface to what happened in Ohio, right? But it does look like it's coming out of that bottle. Okay. And I'll zoom in on that bottle. Is that a bottle? Maybe that's got a little poison signal on it. I don't know. But at first glance, it looks like a tear running down her face, a big long tear, right? Then they pointed out in the video that the image was actually the Super Bowl trophy, right? See? And that made me think make the Super Bowl look like a puppy show. Now, he counted the tears on her actually on her face. Hi, Tennessee. And he came up with 57, adding the different tears on her cheeks. And so he said, well, that was a Super Bowl calm, and that it premeditated the explosion in Ohio with poison going in the air, and that what he found curious was that it was a Palestinian woman. So he was saying that, does this mean that something's going to happen in Palestine or something like that? But I tell you, something struck me. The first thing I thought of, the second I thought of this, it stopped me in my mental tracks. Okay? Mountain Man's mental tracks. I got stopped in my tracks when I saw this image. And let me see if any of you get what I'm seeing. What do you all see when you see this lady sitting there crying? And she's got a child. Okay. What do you all see with the imagery? Is it a cloud? It definitely looks like an eruption of some sort. Okay, a volcano. But it definitely has the poison connotation. But what do you all see besides the Super Bowl trophy, which I agree with? I agree that was to mimic the Super Bowl trophy. And I also think that the bottle in her hand does signify a poison. And I think that's not a cloud. I think that's an explosion. But what else do you... I'll give you all. I know there's a delay, and I'm going to show you something that I grew up with. Something that I grew up with. Larry says the world's worst perfume. Well, let's see. Georgia said, oh, wow. Just like the poison apple and Snow White. Debbie's saying. That's from Pet Goat 2, isn't it? I'm not sure. I got it from And We Know, LT on And We Know. So what other image does this mimic? Very famous image. I will give you a couple of hints. A very famous image. And it was made over, I think, 600 years ago. Over 600 years ago. Mike Mazza says he sees Tower of Babylon. Jack says Pet Go To. That's probably what it is. I'm talking about the specific image. And it's a sculpture. I'll give you another hint. It was made over 600 years ago. It's a sculpture. B-Dog says Madonna. Yeah, that's very close. Let me just go ahead and cut to the chase. Called the Pieta. Okay? Pieta. If you put that in your machine and try to look it up, it will come right up. And I want to let LT from Man We Know, I'm going to tell him about that, because this image has much more spiritual meaning than he realizes. And as I said, our missions are we stick together and we uplift each other with factual information, right? The Madonna della Pieta, okay? Formerly known as La Pieta. Here we go. Okay? My father has a replica of this, and I've been looking at it since I was a child. And it is Madonna with the Christ child. So, I didn't have a chance to crop this down, but the Madonna della Pieta, 1498 to 1499, okay, is a Roman Catholic Dolores image of Jesus and Mary at Mount Golgotha, representing the sixth sorrow of the Blessed Virgin Mary, and a key work of the Italian Renaissance sculpture, carved by Michelangelo well, you could say it, now enshrined in St. Peter's Basilica, in Vatican City. Okay? So now there you can see side by side a correlation of this image that, no, Georgia, not Mona Lisa. Mona Lisa's in the Louvre, and she's a non-religious figure. She's just known for a little cagey smile. But no, you have the Madonna with her fallen son that she's taken off the cross. And so this cartoon image harkens to that, and I think it is built into their symbolism. Yes, Jax, you were. But what else do I notice is that big tear. When you first glance at it, it is a baptismal like symbol, as if she's baptizing the Christ child in the cartoon. But also they're showing the images of DEATH with the poison bottle. So symbolism will be their downfall, and this to me, I think, is you might as well say satanic recreation of the sixth sorrow of our Blessed Virgin Mary. So you might want to keep that in mind. Yes, it is a beautiful sculpture, Kim, and I've got to find that replica. When my parents passed away, we had a lot of stuff. I had to find a home storage and things. But anyway, that is the La Pieta, 600-year-old sculpture. And that's what they're recreating in this blasphemous, in my eyes, cartoon. And I'm going to somehow get a hold of LT if I can and see if he notices that. Thank you. Let's see. Thank you, Amy. Who else is coming in? I'm just trying to catch up with who all's coming in. Angel, prayers for tomorrow. What you got going on tomorrow, cameraman? Hang in there, bro. Okay, gotta get up early. Got surgery. All right. Well, we'll be pulling for you. You rest up. You have a great night, buddy. And stay strong. And Jack says Petco 2 is a disgusting, sickening video. Yeah, I don't want to watch it. I don't let them infest my mind. Okay, that's what I call it. They infest your mind. They're not going to infest my mind. So now this I took a screenshot of, and I had it in my mind of what all was going on with it, but it's been so long I took a screenshot. I'll see if any of y'all know about it. FDA approves first CRISPR beef for cows. The genome-edited cattle were bred to endure climate change, that hoax, and their offspring will be used in meat production. And I guess that's a side-by-side photo of a normal cow and this CRISPR cow. So whatever it is, I think they should be required to put warning labels or advisory labels as to you're eating something that has had its genome change, which means we're consuming and ingesting a type of foodstuffs that we've never, as human beings, had to digest, had to bioabsorb in our body. And I don't want it. And I don't think people should be allowed to market that stuff in the first place. But if they do, it has to be clearly labeled. And it will die its own. That's right, Kirsten Piet. I think, yeah, it's easy to Google. But anyway, we want to get rid of that stuff. And I'm still waiting on an update concerning this matter here. The space station. The rescue mission. Russia launches unmanned spacecraft to rescue stranded NASA cosmonauts. So you can see this photo. There's something spewing out. White stuff over on the left of the body of the space station. You see the crew found themselves stranded after a micrometeoroid punctured a hole in the craft. So this is an international rescue effort in outer space. And as I said, that is movie material. It is dramatic. It is heroic. And nobody is putting anything up. So let's all keep an eye out for that. Because, hey, you know, it's hard to come home from one of them space capsules if things aren't going on right. But, you know, this thing's with these cows. Here's something I took a screenshot of a long time ago and never put it up. I sent a copy of this to Red, and I don't think he got into it either. What is technocracy? Technocracy is the science of social engineering, the scientific operation of the entire social mechanism to produce and distribute goods and services to the entire population. There will be no place for politics, politicians, finance, or financiers. Technology will distribute by means of a certificate of distribution available to every citizen from birth to death. Oh, technocracy will distribute a certificate of distribution that you get from birth to death. A mark, before you can trade, you'll get a mark of the what? A mark of the beast. So the Technocrats magazine, I found this really interesting. This theory and this thing that they're striving for, get a load of this, has been around since this magazine, it was 20 cents, it's hard to read, or 10 cents. This was published in 1932 or 33, explaining technocracy, a revolution without bloodshed. And here you see a big robot holding a human, and in his hand he's got lightning bolts. 30 million people out of work in 1933, or $20,000 a year income for every family. Which, question mark. So they've been pushing this, what they call now NWO, owning nothing, being happy, and a central power, okay, since at least 1933. Well, way before that. So I've had that for about a year and a half in my phone, and I haven't had a chance to bring it up. So, and as we've said, what's the only way? The only way we know is the military, right? That's what we've been told. And I said that there was 25 to 40% of the people in the military need to be have a readjustment or be gone. And so the high roller put out a meme concerning that. The military is the only way, right? Here we go. Because you got people like this in the military, okay? So if there are these type of people in the military, and the military is the only way, we can't have this, okay? We can't have this stupidity. So that might be a little meme for your military is the only way. That might be something to show people that, yeah, we got some work to do in the military, some house cleaning. Yeah, Miley and Austin, if they're not playing a role, they got to go. And this meme here is one. It's kind of like the meme that I did with occasional cortex. Here you got Zelensky and Biden meeting, right? They're going to have a big embrace, okay? And here's the part they left out. So, you might want to get... This came from the East, I believe. It was either my Oak Man, my South American contact, or it was somebody from the East. So there's a little something that make you laugh and get a screenshot of, and I put it on Facebook. I mean, they can't take them all down, right? Plus, Facebook is dancing to a new tune, okay? Dancing to a new tune. And I don't want them to get the nice ladies I've got on my program, man. I'm going to put up a meme in a second. But remember when I first started broadcasting, I said, there are people in this world that aren't happy unless they're miserable. And they're not happy if somebody's having more fun out of life than they are. Okay? I still hold that to be true. That is how you breed a communist. But anyway, here's a nice little meme for you to copy. Ha ha. So anyway, getting back to Zelensky, here we go. Zelensky and Biden. Here's another one. Which do you want? Can put that up. So anyway, here's a report that's going on. I didn't hear anything else about it, but Virginia Democrats are explicitly arguing government should intervene to protect trans kids from their families. See, there's a push. And I said that they were going to, Maryland and Virginia are bordering right there on D.C., and they're trying to make them, incorporate them into the Magic Kingdom, right? Where you can get away with anything you want to get away with. And for everybody that missed that one broadcast that I did, I was reminding people how we don't know who's still around and who's in charge. And I reminded them of this when these kind of memes were going around, okay? That's another one, an oldie but a goodie you might want to get a screenshot of. When we didn't know what was going on, Ruth Bader Ginsburg. Hold on, I'm going to get a sip of my coffee. Ha ha. All right. So, anyway, now, ladies, it's just a joke, but here's a meme somebody sent me. And I said, I'll put it up. Let me see, where'd it go? Here you go. Don't get mad at me now. It's just a meme. Just a meme, just joking, gals. Okay. I got 6 between, it depends on the video. I got 65%, 30 women, 35% men. Like I told the guys, if you want to meet good women, you come right here to Mountain Man's channel. Right here, as you see, in a certain territory. So anyway, I do want to put up a meme I haven't put up in a long time because, we're seeing garbage like this in Virginia, other states. You expect it from California, Oregon, all that. But, you get into some of these states where you wouldn't expect it. It makes you think, oh, my gosh, what's going to happen? But I put this up, a cartoon, to give people something to think about. There is such a thing as natural law, okay? And there is such a thing as love. And there is such a thing as instinct to protect your children and protect the people you love. And we're going to rely on that. And that instinct and that love comes from God and it gets put in our heart. The only way we don't access it is if we shut it out ourselves. We allow ourselves to be deceived, right? Here you have this little cartoon. Our parents' generation is ruining everything. That's why I'm rebelling against whatever they stand for. And I'm not even having S3X till I'm married. And the girl says, me neither. Want to hold hands or something? And they hold hands. So just remember that the crazy people, they're going to be like the outside of Noah's boat, okay? They're going to be like the ones who plowed their fields and toiled and did their daily work in Sodom and Gomorrah. And then they were gone, okay? So just for a little something to spread around. And I had an article that BCP talked about where they were talking about all these young kids that were being into forced labor and everything like that, right? And I didn't have room in my phone for more stuff. I had to take it out, but I could talk about it. We all know what's going on. Child labor laws are being broken. Okay, it's human trafficking at the border, and it is primarily encouraged by the Biden administration. But here was a meme that you can put out that's not going to upset too many people. Maybe some. But it is getting out of hand with what's happening at the BOARDER. No comprende. Man, I lost about 10 people. I think it was because I put that girl meme, the meme about the guy passing out. And this is something you can't get out too much. I didn't get the clip. We've seen that. But see, this is what I'm talking about. Guys like Tim Pool, I don't watch him all the time, but I'm saying the generation, that younger generation, Six Hex and Hammer 666, Timcast, they're putting out this kind of stuff. And he's got, I don't know how many subscribers. And they have attorneys. So they're not going to get taken down like they take me down. Okay? So it is encouraging to see them put out there, play the clip where she calls him President Obama, and then they play the clip where Obama says, I wish I could just be in the basement calling the shots. This stuff is what's coming out. So anyway, folks, we're coming up on our hour, and I'm glad. I tell you what, I opened the steel door leading to the outside of my fortified bunker here in the mountains. And I think that improved my signal. What do you all think? It improved my signal quite a bit. So I'll tell you what, I'm going to close out with something. Since everything's playing good and I got new subscribers, and thank you all for buying me coffee the other night and for helping me out through Sadie. And I haven't seen Aaron in a while, the Godfather, but I'm going to play Why Not? Let's listen to Laura on the way out. It played good last time, so I'll play it now. This is Mountain Man thanking you for giving me your precious time. So you all have a great evening. This is Mountain Man over and out.
Corralled into this box where we either have to hate Vladimir Putin and believe everything evil that's said about him and love Ukraine, and there's no in between. And that reminds me a lot of, you're either a white supremacist or you go with the Democrat narrative on everything under the sun.
The most lethal terrorist threat to the homeland today, white supremacy.
And I want to understand white rage, and I'm white.
I mean, there's as much interference here as you could possibly imagine before you even get to Hunter Biden, Nancy Pelosi, John Kerry, Mitt Romney, and all of their children who earn millions from Ukrainian gas companies. These days, it's hard to believe anything because they've lied about COVID, they lied about Russia collusion, they lied about the Ukraine impeachment trial, and there's so much more going on in Ukraine that nobody is talking about.
Does Ukraine have chemical or biological weapons?
My job as a journalist is to try to understand what is the truth here. I don't like being lied to, and we're being lied to on an epic scale. When we're told your only choice is you have to be 100% with Zelensky. Slava Ukraina. Who's a puppet who you can find on the internet in black stilettos and leather pants. Zelensky was selected, like so many of our leaders. And honestly, with big tech and with election fraud these days, we don't know how many leaders all around the world have been selected for us and weren't actually voted in.
How to build back better.
We have to build back better.
Build back better.
If Donald Trump gets the Republican nomination, there are many of us that will move heaven and earth to ensure he doesn't win.
We are fighting the same battles all over the world. To pretend that this war is about Russia and Ukraine is a barefaced lie. Putin has been warning for 15 years that he is not going to stand by while the globalists take over the world, build bioweapons facilities and whatever else they're doing in Ukraine. Ukraine has been a center of money laundering for many of the leaders in this country. Billions of US dollars have been laundered through Ukraine, and we say nothing about it. Does nobody question these things? We have an idiot like Lieutenant Colonel Vindman.
Mr. Vindman, Lieutenant Colonel Vindman, please.
Do you always insist on civilians calling you by your rank?
And sits there as a lieutenant colonel. He didn't even make colonel. And he's telling the president of the United States what his policy should be. You have a traitor in the form of Maria Yovanovitch, who was Obama's ambassador, who's telling Ukrainian government officials, don't listen to the will of the American people.
In his July 25th phone call with Ukrainian President Zelensky, the president badmouthed Yovanovitch, calling her bad news.
I was shocked, absolutely shocked.
And then she's given a cushy job for life at Georgetown University. And we're told that the president of the United States cannot say to his foreign counterparts that we want you to look into something.
If the prosecutor's not fired, you're not getting the money. Oh, son of a bitch. And they put in place someone who was solid.
So much hypocrisy and dishonesty here, and Ukraine is at the center of it all.